Education Secretary Betsy DeVos said the Trump administration plans to enforce federal standardized testing requirements for K-12 schools amid the coronavirus pandemic, according to reports. DeVos told school leaders in a letter on Thursday that the states should not expect the federal education department to grant waivers for testing requirements as it did earlier this year when schools shuttered during the outbreak, Politico reported. That was the right call, given the limited information available about the virus at the time and the need to stop its spread as well as the practical realities limiting the administration of assessments, DeVos wrote, according to UPI. However, it is now our expectation that states will, in the interest of students, administer summative assessments during the 2020-2021 school year, consistent with the requirements of the law and following the guidance of local health officials, she wrote. She stressed the importance of standardized tests despite the difficulty in administering them during the pandemic. If we fail to assess students, it will have a lasting effect for years to come, she wrote. Not only will vulnerable students fall behind, but we will be abandoning the important, bipartisan reforms of the past 2 decades at a critical moment. Some governors, including Georgia Republican Brian Kemp and other state officials, had asked the department to consider suspending the tests this year due to the pandemic and budget cuts. Richard Woods, the Republican schools chief in Georgia, assailed DeVos' decision. It is disappointing, shows a complete disconnect with the realities of the classroom, and will be a detriment to public education, he said in a statement, Politico reported. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer, a Democrat, also slammed DeVos' decision and accused her of forcing high-stakes testing on our young children during a global pandemic. This virus has had an unprecedented impact on our kids, and forcing them to take these assessments during a time when families everywhere are working around the clock to stay safe is cruel, Whitmer said in a statement, according to the outlet. And Randi Weingarten, president of the American Federation of Teachers, said DeVos should be focused on helping schools reopen safely, rather than issuing a dictate on how to measure them. Instead of focusing on the supports our kids need to get back to school safely, or what she can do to help, her first missive to the field is to tell them she is maintaining high-stakes testing, Weingarten said in a statement. Of course accountability has a role, as does data, but right now educators and students are struggling with the daily realities of remote learning and returning to a potentially unsafe working environment. Quote.